We're just going to start from the beginning. NextDoor is like a Facebook for neighborhoods, pretty much. It's not affiliated with Facebook in any way, shape, or form, although at one point in time, Facebook was trying to purchase NextDoor, I believe. But it's set up kind of like a Facebook or an Instagram or any other social media site, and that it's got a main feed right through. That's the main thing that you see is a main feed. You can scroll through and see things that people have posted in NextDoor. So that's the main setup, kind of like Facebook. And basically it's a neighborhood hub where neighbors can get together to help build a stronger neighborhood and community. You can actually interact with your neighbors through NextDoor. You can email them, things like that. And it's a very secure in that NextDoor doesn't share your email address with anyone. The email is all set up and run strictly through the NextDoor site. No one can see your address, where you live, anything like that, which is it's very nice. A lot of people are very concerned about their privacy when they're on NextDoor. Nobody will know your exact physical address. If they actually dig a little bit, they might be able to find what street you live on. But for all practical purposes, they really don't know anything about you. You can set your privacy settings for things that you want people to see or not see about you. And we're going to go into all of that also as we go through the class here. So just a little bit on how can NextDoor be used. Like I said, you can email your neighbors, very secure, all done within NextDoor. You can advertise a business. If you have a business and would like to advertise it for free, you can do that on NextDoor. NextDoor is really helpful for finding people that do have businesses. I've gotten a lot of recommendations from NextDoor that I've used, people for plumbing, for fence building, things like that in my neighborhood. You can also report neighborhood safety issues. I think a lot of people use it for safety issues. That's one of the main reasons that I use it, actually, is just to keep, I'm in Houston, Texas, and with all the big city and lots of different neighborhoods, just to keep up with crime issues and things like that that go on around the neighborhood. You can also post notifications of parties, garage sales, all kinds of things like that, and just go in and post it on NextDoor, and you'd be surprised how much that helps, especially if you're having a garage sale. You don't have to drive around town and post signs. You can just put it on NextDoor and the word goes out to everyone. If at any point in time anyone has any questions, please feel free to stop and ask them. I don't mind at all. It's not an interruption if you have a question on your mind about something that we're talking about. If you want to type it in the chat, you certainly can do that too. And I'll do my best to monitor the chat. So these are a few things that you can use NextDoor for. Who can join NextDoor? Well, just about anybody. If you rent or own a home, you can join NextDoor. If you own a second home, you can join NextDoor in the neighborhood of the second home that you own. So you can keep up with that neighborhood too, as well as your own. If you own a property where you're planning to build a home, you can go ahead and join that neighborhood also. Of course, if you own rental property, that's really a handy thing, because then you can actually keep up with what's going on in that neighborhood where your rental property is. So if you do have two neighborhoods that you want to, I won't say neighborhoods, if you do need two addresses, if you have a house and another home or something like that, all you have to do is set up an account for that second place. You have one for where you're actually living, and then another account for your rental home or your new property where you're building or something like that. So you would have two totally separate accounts for those homes. Okay, let's talk a little bit about setting up an account if you haven't already. It's very easy to do, and we're going to take a look at the website. When you go to nextdoor.com, it pops up with a little thing that asks you to put in your residential street address and your email address. And then everything else after that is pretty automatic. You will get an email immediately back from NextDoor, and you need to verify your email address. And within that email, they will also tell you how to verify your address of the home that you're living in. Now, not sure exactly how they do that, but I will tell you that you can't use a PO box when you sign up for your account. You actually have to use a physical address. And if it's an apartment or something like that, all you have to do is put in your apartment number, suite number. If it should be that, it would be apartment number, but you do have to use a physical address. And once you click a sign up button, then it will send you an email, as I said, and that will be confirming your email address. All you do is reply to that email, give it the information that it's asking for. And once your email is confirmed, you can start posting on NextDoor. If you forget to post on to verify your email address, you're limited to posting until you actually do confirm your email address. And there are also steps where you verify your address. And I took this strictly off of the website discussing how to do it, but these instructions are within that email that you're going to get from NextDoor when you do sign up for an account. So I'm not really going to go through step by step. That'll be in that email. Once you get your account set up, go in and introduce yourself to your neighborhood. Let everybody know that you're actually out there and on NextDoor. This is a sample message right here. Hi neighbors, my name's Sally. I just moved to the neighborhood. I have a husband, Trent, 3 kids, 2 dogs. I love hiking, cooking, hope to see you around the neighborhood. Now, the fun thing about doing this is, one, you let everybody know that you do have an account on NextDoor now, and they can reply to that and send virtual flowers or virtual candy or whatever and tell you welcome to the neighborhood. Just kind of a fun little thing to do. Any questions on any of that so far? Everybody good? Okay. All righty. So what I'd like to do next is to go ahead and jump out on the internet and look at a couple of sites. So one of the help sites that goes with NextDoor and the community guidelines. There are some basic guidelines and things that NextDoor requires that you adhere to. NextDoor is a moderated site. There are moderators. You could find out who exactly your moderators were in your community before they changed up and reformatted the website. Right now, I've yet to figure out how to do that, but it's very easy to report something. If you see something you think might be inappropriate or something that's just goes against the community guidelines, you can actually click on the little 3 dots, which usually indicates there's more to something, and you can report a comment. I've actually done that. For some reason, in the last couple of weeks, my neighborhood's gotten a little crazy. So there's been a couple of things I thought was kind of inappropriate. And I just sent it off to a moderator to ask them to just check it and make sure that it met all the community guidelines. Okay, so that said, I'm going to go ahead. Any questions right now before we take a look at the website and some of the guidelines? Everybody good? Okay. Questions anytime, feel free to speak up and just go ahead and ask your question.